Loading labels and ribbons on this printer is pretty simple, as there is nothing complicated that gets in the way of the paper or ribbon path. Let's start with the labels. With the printhead block open, lift the upper section of the paper sensor. Next, simply insert the roll of labels through the back of the machine, and then close the sensor over the paper. To finish up the process, slide the paper guides up against the edge of the paper and secure them by engaging the lock at the back of the printer. For ribbon loading, begin by opening the printhead block. The feed roll is placed into position first, making sure that the notch in the ribbon core is fitted snugly on the matching notch of the ribbon gear. The take-up roll winds over the top of the print block, and again, the notch on the ribbon core must be secured. Close the printhead, and you are ready to begin printing. When the paper sensor has been set up as we have described, and the media is loaded, you can now close the printhead and the top cover, turn on the machine, and begin printing. See how easy that is? The labels you see running now are white ones, but we could also think of these as solid color labels, since I could use solid yellow, or solid blue, or any of a variety of other colors just the same way. But what happens if you want to print on multicolor or pre-printed labels? This sort of situation presents a special problem for the paper sensor. We can think of it this way. Let's suppose you were looking at the label from underneath, holding it up to the light. You would notice that the amount of light that passes through the paper varies depending on the color. The amount of light at the label gap is also different. Basically, the printer needs to be able to figure out which one of these light variations is the label gap. To enable the printer to do this, we need to run a threshold calibration. In addition, we will need to change the software driver's sensor type so that the printer will know to use the information it acquires from the threshold setting. Setup is done in the following way. We begin with the printer turned off. On the back of the printer, turn on switches 6 and 8. Next, press and hold the feed button while you're turning the printer on. The on line and error lights will turn on, at which point you can release the feed button. To run the threshold setup, press and hold the pause key until 3 or 4 labels roll out of the machine. The on-line light will be blinking, indicating that the setup is completed. You can then turn the printer off and restore dip switches 6 and 8 to their normal position. When you repower the printer, you will be ready to begin printing.